Hey guys, it's Michael. I have a quick update for you on the second stimulus package. Yesterday, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, had a virtual hearing before the House Financial Services Committee, and he spoke about a second stimulus package. He was urging them to pass more direct stimulus payments, so we're going to go over exactly what he said there. Also, earlier today, the unemployment data for last week was released, and it's continuing to be bad. So we're going to see what this means for more stimulus. It's actually really good news, though, for more stimulus. So anyways, before we get started, I just want to remind you guys, if you're interested in stimulus checks, the stock market, or how to make money in general, well, then please be sure to subscribe to my channel so you can be notified when new videos come out. Anyways, let's jump right into it, and let's first go over the unemployment data. I'm just going to briefly talk about it right now because later today I'm going to do a deeper dive into what this means for more stimulus. So earlier today, the Labor Department announced that another 1.5 million people filed for unemployment claims last week. It was the 13th straight week that state filings for unemployment topped 1 million claims in a week. And just to put this into perspective, until the virus started, until everything with shutdowns and the pandemic started, the most new claims we had seen in 1 week had been 695,000 claims in 1982. And now we've seen 13 straight weeks of over 1 million. In addition to this, claims for pandemic unemployment assistance, the federal program for self-employed workers, independent contractors, and other people who are ineligible for standard state unemployment benefits, we added another 760,000 total people for pandemic unemployment assistance. And then finally, economists said that recent layoffs, though smaller than they have been previously in March and in April when everything was at the all-time highs for unemployment during the pandemic, they say that because we're continuing to see layoffs, over 1 million people every single week are filing for unemployment benefits. Well, they said this proves, and this is showing us, that the crisis is reaching deeper and deeper into the economy. They say that because businesses are opening up and people are still getting laid off, that shows that we have a longer term issue, and it's going to be a while before we see a recovery, because a lot of people thought that once businesses started to open back up, jobs would come back right away, there wouldn't be as many layoffs. But right now we're continuing to see layoffs as businesses are reopening, as states are reopening. So that is just a sign of things to come, and it's going to be a long road ahead. However, for more stimulus, this is good news, because if we're seeing continued layoffs and we continue to see the economy struggle, then that means that they are more likely to pass direct stimulus payments. So I'm going to analyze this more in a video later today. I just wanted to point this out, though. So yesterday, the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said that recent economic improvement could be jeopardized if Congress decides not to pass more direct support for individuals and workers, and also businesses that have been struggling during the pandemic. They say even though we're starting to see a recovery, we still need more stimulus. He was urging them in the virtual meeting yesterday. He said despite the 2.5 million increase in jobs last month in the May unemployment report, he said that 25 million workers still remain out of work. They still don't have work to go to, and it would be very concerning if Congress decides to not pass more direct support for Americans. He said this during a virtual meeting with the House Financial Services Committee yesterday. So this is good because he is continuing to urge Congress to pass more stimulus. He has had this stance for a while now, but if he keeps telling them how it's a great time to borrow money from the Federal Reserve, how the Federal Reserve thinks there should be more stimulus, this is just going to keep pushing them towards passing another package. Jerome Powell goes on to explain how what was spent in the first stimulus package and in the interim bill, that appears to have boosted hiring and consumer spending in recent weeks. He said that could be why we saw the increase in jobs, why we saw the retail sales report up. He said because of all the stimulus passed, that is why we have seen these reports for May do much better than expected, because all of this support is doing its job. But if we just cut that off and we don't add any more support in the coming months, well, then we're going to see these reports drop significantly. We're going to see numbers go down again. So he continued to urge them to pass more. He said it would be wise to look at ways to continue support to people who are out of work, and also small businesses that may not have vast resources for a period of time. A lot of businesses are going to be struggling, he said, even as they're reopening, because people are not going to be going out, spending as much money, going to restaurants. People are just not going to be spending as much money right now. So he explained how not only there needs to be support for small businesses and businesses in general, but also we need direct support for individuals. He says both of these things are essential to help the economy continue on its path to recovery, because if you cut one of them off, then both are affected. If you don't give direct stimulus to people, well, then they can't spend the money at businesses. And if you can't spend money at businesses, well, then businesses are not going to be able to hire more people. So he said they go hand in hand and they need to be more support for both businesses and individuals. He goes on to say how the economy would benefit if cities and states facing large revenue declines aren't forced to lay off workers simply to balance their budgets. So he's also urging Congress to pass more support for state and local governments. This is what he means, because if city and state governments don't also receive support, he said, then they're going to have to conduct layoffs. He said it will hold back the economic recovery if they continue to have to lay people off. He said that's kind of what happened after the 2007 to 2009 recession. He said cities and state governments didn't have enough money, so they had to conduct more layoffs. So he said it's essential that they also receive more money in the next stimulus package so they don't have to conduct layoffs simply to balance their budget. And then finally, Jerome Powell goes on to the most important aspect of the economy recovery. He talks about the virus in general. He said even if the economy avoids a big spike in virus infection rates, many employees in industries such as hospitality, entertainment, and travel could be out of work for a long time if consumers continue to avoid large crowds, they don't go on trips, and they don't do activities in general that require people to be in close quarters with one another. So he said even if we don't see a large spike in cases, he said it ultimately comes down to people feeling comfortable to be able to go out and be in large crowds before we could truly see the economy fully recover. One thing to keep in mind, though, is that 21 states are seeing increases in the number of virus cases each day. States like Florida have seen their all-time highs in number of cases just within this week alone. So cases still are increasing, but according to Jerome Powell, even if cases don't increase and we start seeing a decrease in the number of cases across the entire U.S., he's saying that the ultimate factor for us seeing a full recovery is going to be when people feel comfortable going out, being in large crowds, spending money, going to activities, and until that can happen, there's going to be a number of industries that are going to be significantly hurt by everything going on. So ultimately, in this meeting, Jerome Powell urged the House and urged Congress to pass more stimulus. He said businesses need more money, individuals need more direct support, and certain industries are going to need help. Ultimately, we need to continue the support for everyone in order to get through everything going on right now. Even though we saw the numbers and the reports for May look much better than expected, said that's simply because of all the money that has been spent in the previous packages. And continuing to see these good numbers, we're going to need to pass more. So anyways, that's just a quick update from you for unemployment and from the Federal Reserve on more stimulus. This is great news for us moving forward. I just want to keep you updated on what is going on. Anyways, don't forget to get your 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400 when you sign up for the Webull investing app. 1 free stock when you sign up for Robinhood. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like the video down below, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.